How's it going, guys? So, as second anniversary approaches, let us continue the journey going down memory lane and see each class of operators and see how they performed and what has changed throughout the 2 years of gameplay that we've experienced together. So, I would do caster today, and not gonna lie, my experience is probably a lot more different to the majority of other players. Hear me out. So I would say that the first cast that we have to talk about is Armia, right? Everyone gets Armia at the start of the game. And I believe that a lot of you must have used Armia throughout, like, I would say the first few chapters at least, and then she comes back in at least in chapter 8 because she is a requirement to E2. But actually that is very different for me. I E2'd her, but that was purely for chapter 8. I actually got AFL on the first day of the game. If you watched my previous video on medics, you would know that I pulled 126 pulls for an AoE medic. And on the way, I actually got AFL as a, well, off banner because the first banner was Exia and Angelina, right? And I actually got AFL, which is definitely very awesome. Her skill 1 is fine, but her skill 2 only requires E1, does AoE damage, rather low cost compared to all the AoE medics, AoE casters that you'll be bringing, like Skyfire, Gitano, or Lava. I didn't rely on any of those. I just had AFL, and that was the easy way out for me. And even till this day, AFL's skill 2 I would use quite often in Annihilations, and skill 3 is still like great if I want to clear out a huge pack of enemies with her Volcano. So in general, AFL carried me through the entire game. Really awesome, and she's still one of my favorite operators, I would say. No FBI, but yes. Then there goes the AoE casters. I would actually look at them in 2 categories. So Skyfire, Gitano, and Lava I would say is like the normal AoE caster. Ifrit is on her own thing, right? So the normal AoE casters, Skyfire, Gitano, and Lava. I would say that Lava is probably one of the most, like one of the AoE casters that I use the most, except for Ifrit and AFL in this case, just because of her low cost. But you may differ. What reminds me the most about AoE casters is I believe many of us has grinded through CE5, and you know how there's 3 shield carrying enemies that come out on the left side. Lava is one of the best operators to deal with them. Obviously you can go lower and go with 2 stars, but Lava does the job for me generally. Gitano though, Gitano is really interesting. I would say that Gitano would have been way better if she didn't have this stun after her skill 2 ended, but you know, that is just, she's the 4-star, she can't be too good. Then there's Skyfire. I always remember back when the game, before the game launched, right? We were all in Discord, and like the official Discord, we already had some memes about how Skyfire would use her meteor and just miss the drone, just, you know, making her a meme, even though she is still quite a capable operator if you know, use her in the right condition, like in CZ season 4, where she could do the whole stun strategy. So Skyfire is still pretty good, just less used, and mainly because of all the meme that happened to her. I would say that is quite a tragedy. A lot of people could have enjoyed her a lot more, but her skin is still pretty nice, right? Then there is Ifrit. Ifrit. How should I put it? Ifrit, in my opinion, is one of those operators that always has a use. Her limitations are really high. Her attack area is not the best to use in any situation. But when you just get that one situation, you let her deal that lane of damage. Whenever I see like 3 lanes of chance for Ifrit, she becomes a must for me. And it still works till this day. Annihilation, I always bring Ifrit's skill 2. She's perfect for any like full auto skill Annihilation, and she's just perfect. Also, she works really well with Surtur as well, but I would say that is, you know, a bit with the guard side of the things. And then after that, the game released KO to us. I must say that I rarely use Aoe. I mostly used her for situations where, you know, like CC Season 2, I probably use Aoe quite a bit. But in other situations, I would actually bring Aoe plus someone else as that, how should I put it? If I really want arch damage, Aoe can satisfy most of them. And I really don't need more arch damage. Aoe is one of those operators in this really like awkward situation where she can deal a lot of damage, but her skills actually feels like they're pulling her back, and Aoe, they're stealing the role of 6-star single target caster. Yes, I know Aoe is pretty much an AoE caster, but that is not really the point here. So Aoe, a really, how should I put it? A really decent operator. Only if Aoe wasn't around, I would have used her a lot more. But her single target ability probably is the reason why I haven't been using her, because I just like to go boom and just win. You know, I'm pretty brain dead, as you all know. Merchtima. Blue head. For some reason, I feel like blue head operators just don't get treated as well. Like blue operators don't get treated as well. Scotty, Merchtima. Wait, who was the other one that didn't get treated well? Just in general, right? Scotty's. Wait, isn't that the only two? Ignore me. Either ways, Merchtima. Aoe caster, really high cost. I've only used her once. Pretty much. I know it's a disgrace. I really like her design. I think, like, if she gets an alternate version of Merchtima, I would definitely pull for her. Even if it's still a cast, even if it's just still not as good, I don't care. I love Merchtima. But her high cost, and comparing to her high cost, not really high attack, means that for a brain dead player like me, I just wouldn't use her. And I feel bad about that, because I know how strong she can be. 7-second, like, complete stall? Insane. I just don't use her. Why? I don't know. Alright, next time we get Click. I believe the most of us, okay? Most of us, I'm including myself here, because in my Chinese account experience, I experienced the same thing. I believe most of us didn't really look into Click when we got her. It is only when Roguelike came around that we paid attention. Oh, actually, this free 4-star that they let us borrow seems to be doing a really good job at a lot of things. And that is when you started to like, okay, maybe she's worth investing. And then you build, and then, you know, you see Click in a lot of low rare clear videos nowadays, I would say. I see a lot of them. Like, I see a lot of them with her included. She's just a great all-rounder, and if you really don't want to use Armia, or if you think that you want another single target caster instead of Armia, because Armia you have to E2 anyway, if you want another one, I would go with Click. But since most of us everyone has to E2 Armia at some point, Click is probably, I think Click has her own strength, but you have to E2 Armia anyway, so if you don't really have the resources, probably leave Click alone, since you can just borrow the free one in Roguelike. Yay. Dusk. Oh, Dusk is one of those really hard operators. How should I put it? I love Dusk. I love her animation. Have you seen that, you know, that what is it, like the paint style art thingy? She looks beautiful with her skill 1. Her skill 1, that ring of attack, looks awesome, right? She is generally actually really good, especially if you want to use her skill 3 in some unique situations. She can work really well with other operators like Carnelian. They do a good combo. I actually did that in a recent event rerun. They work perfectly fine. It's just that most of the time, I don't bring Dusk. How should I? No, that sounds so wrong. Most of the time nowadays, I don't even bring casters, because I have higher arch damage in guard. I'm really sorry, casters. I love a lot of you. I love so many of you, but you guys cost way too much. Passenger. I want to, like, a lot of us trash on Passenger. And I get it. He has not that high of an attack. His skills is worse than the 5-star variant Lazy in most situations. He costs way too much. His skill 3 is 30 SP per charge and has 0 initial SP. Just all-rounder, not like everything around about him makes him feel like he's not that good. I pulled for him not because I just wanted all operators. I pulled for him because I see the light in him. The fact that I pulled him before the CN module came out means a lot. And why did I choose to pull Passenger is that he is unique. He is unique in that Chain Lightning Caster should generally be great from my personal tower defense experience. Chain Lightning Casters should be a huge deal in terms of dealing damage. He has slow. His skill 3 is insane in range. And I just see that he has a lot of potentials in him. That is why I pulled. And later down, as CN released the module system for Passenger, I knew I was right. He is worth pulling. It's just that if you don't already have Passenger, or you don't have like a lot of other really important operators E2'd, and you want to know who to go for next, go for the other more important operators, because Passenger is one of those operators where you really need to have other systems build up. You want to have good DP generation, you want to have good defense, all that good stuff you have to build up, and then you can have fun with Passenger. That is how I feel about Passenger. He's not trash in the future. Now he is still kind of not the best, I'm sorry. And our newest operator, Carnelian. How should I put this one? Oh, this is so awkward. Because I love Carnelian. I love her because of how she looks. I'm sorry. I'm such a, waifu head. Like, I'm dumb. But I like her. In terms of strength, like I explained in my Should You Pull Carnelian video, if you haven't watched that, you should go back and watch that. She's not really worth pulling. Obviously, she gets a skin in the future and so on and so forth. I just think she's not worth pulling because of her not doing anything when her skills are not activated. Her role as a high ground tank is very weird because most of the time, if you want to use her to bait the damage, you can put down a defender to bait the damage. You wouldn't need a Carnelian to do it most of the time, right? And that is why Carnelian sits in this really weird situation where that, yes, it feels like there is some place that she can be used. And there is one day in CC, like daily. That's pretty much it. And like, I haven't seen any situation where I was like, okay, this is where Carnelian would definitely shine. None. And that is really sad because I really think she has potential. Her super low cooldown for how much damage she can do with her both skill 2 and skill 3 actually seems very promising. Only if she can deal damage during her skill, like when her skill isn't up, she would have been really great, which is such a disgrace. So that's about it for this video. I would say that I have covered all the important casters in my opinion. Obviously there's a lot more casters in the game, but I feel like these 12 take the most important caster spot in my opinion. They've carried me through early stage of the game. They showed me how evolution of Arknights, the developers ideas behind game design throughout the way. If you look really carefully, you can see the balance, the really strong part. You can see all of that. And hence I think even though caster most of the time gets outshined by guards, I think caster is actually a very important class in this game. And if you really do your research on how to use casters, they can still be very powerful and carry you through a lot of content. So that's it for this video. I will see you guys in the next video. And as you guys can see, I have a teaser down there. Next time, we're doing Defenders. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.